to Tuning Fork, the show where every episode we arrest Wayne Coyne, lock him in the noise space water tower, he breaks loose, and wacky shenanigans ensue.
Okay.
I mean,
And coming up after this, don't miss Freakazoid starring Dan Deacon.
good God.
It's also a show about music and the Pitchfork Media Hype Machine. I'm David.
I'm Matt.
And we have a guest today.
I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Hi.
Hello, Alex.
Hi, everyone.
You brought us all together to discuss something which is, I think, a favorite album of all of us.
So how many minutes in did it take everyone to realize they made a terrible mistake?
I'm looking at the Genius page right now, and I just remembered what the first line is. So then,
Yeah.
When I heard that line, I was like, okay, this is how this is going. Let's buckle in.
I think I let out like a really profound ha. And I thought, oh, this is going to be fun. It's going to be quirky. And then it just got really boring.
yeah.
It does kind of dip in the middle. We're talking about, of course, the classic album Lulu by Lou Reed and Metallica. A match made in heaven, to be sure.
Yeah.
The thing is, while I was listening to this, I understood why the pairing happened. Like it's clear what Lou Reed was going for.
Is it?
Okay, I'm gonna say it's not clear exactly what he was going for, but I get what he was going for. He wanted something, heavier to work with.
Yeah.
I don't know how
Yeah.
successful it was.
I didn't actually know what the source material was for this album the first time I listened through it, so I thought this was all just coming from his own brain with no prompting whatsoever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the resident idiot this episode. I don't know anything about where it came from, so if you got anything, if you got those insights.
I can explain a little bit. So, it's based off of like two plays by German playwright Frank Wedekind. I believe it's probably pronounced better. But he's the guy who wrote Spring Awakening, if anyone's familiar with that.
Okay.
The play, not the musical. And I'm only really familiar with Spring Awakening. Like, I've done a couple of scenes from it, and like I've read the whole thing. And he's sort of known for like being very dark. And
See, I'm only familiar with Spring Awakening, the musical. How does that compare to the original play?
so like in the original play, there's like a lot of sexual assault, and like I think the characters are pretty young. They're like 14. Someone kills themselves. Like it's taken a bit more seriously. I think I haven't seen the musical, but
The musical had a lot of weird tonal problems where there was where like a lot of serious stuff is played in a musical format in a way that seems way too jaunty for the material. So I think a lot of that does carry through to the musical. It's been a couple of years since I've seen it, so
but it's like really
Jaunty is a great word to describe the musical content of this album as well.
yeah. But yeah,
It's so very jaunty.
he's known
small
for like,
town girl.
we're gonna get a lot of impressions in this episode, but
I think so,
yeah,
yeah.
he's sort
Yeah,
of,
that's my James Hetfield for the entirety of the first song.
so the playwright is known for like very dark sexual stuff, and then Lulu, the plays are about like a girl who is a stripper and then apparently like a social climber, and then she falls into prostitution, and she meets Jack the Ripper. A lot of stuff happens to poor Lulu.
This does seem like Lou Reed kind of material.
Yeah.
It does.
Oh, German
'Cause
sex.
He loves that high concept shit.
German sex and like, almost like chasery narratives of people in different social situations than him. I guess it's like kind of like almost like a social voyeurism is like Lou Reed's whole shtick.
I mean, I think
That's a good
his
word
other
for it.
shtick is like just being a little pervert, man.
Yeah.
Just reading like weird porn and jerking off in a corner, like, and then shooting up heroin. You're like, okay, Lou Reed's maybe not the guy I'd want to hang out with, but his music's interesting.
The founding principles of the Velvet Underground right there.
Yeah.
Jerk off in a corner and shoot heroin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we'll get into it. I feel like maybe a couple of songs, the lyrics, quote unquote, kind of blended between like the play that it's based off, and then I kind of felt like it was Lou Reed being a bit personal.
Okay.
Yeah, I did get a little bit of that, at least towards the end of the album.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have anything else to say about Lou Reed or Metallica before we get started going through the songs?
I guess I should clarify that I am a fan of both of them. Like, I think maybe I actually like Metallica a little bit more than Lou Reed.
Sure.
Just because...
And I want to say that I downloaded this album on my favorite torrent site to stick it to James Hetfield personally.
Oh, yeah, don't buy their shit. Just torrent it to make them madder. I mean, they're rich. They're really, really rich. And Lou Reed is dead, so what's he gonna do?
Torrenting music is actually what And Justice for All, the album, is about.
I listen to And Justice for All to sort of... Like, I listen to a lot of Metallica and a bit of Lou Reed to kind of be like, okay, so what's them at their best? Where are they? Where are we in the scheme of things? And listening to one... my wig flew to China. I'm currently bald. It's probably one of the best metal songs there is. Like, it's really good. And
it is really good. I remember having that thought when I played it on
Guitar Hero 3.
I think Guitar Hero 3 for the first time.
Yes. I have like a specific memory of that level in hell with like the sexy demon girls like grinding, dancing to to this like horrible lyrics of like being blind and deaf and mute and so I always think of sexy demons when I listen to Metallica.
My Nintendo Wii was never the same after that.
God.
Don't like that. And yeah, I remember being a young teenager and crying to the Velvet Underground. So I do respect both musicians, and I really wanted to see what happened. And like the reason I picked this was because I think it came out like just before I kind of started listening to the Velvet Underground was first. And I was like, oh, well, I know who both of these bands are, and they're really good. So why would this album be bad? And now I know. It only took me like 10 years.
Yeah, that's how, like, this whole podcast has been just like a 10-year gestation to get your thoughts about this album out. We've been, it's been forming it was incepted into each of our brains when the album came out, and we've just been letting it stew.
Yeah.
That said, I listened to the album yesterday, and I think I fell asleep during the long song, because I woke up and there was no music playing. So I might have lost the last bit of it. Junior Dad is a good title, though.
It's very funny.
It is. It kind of sounds like a math rock title.
It sounds like a math rock band name.
It sounds like a Nickelodeon sitcom.
Somebody's going to get slimed by the end of this album. And I don't think it's Lou Reed.
Lou Reed is absolutely doing the sliming. We've been talking about his cum this whole time.
Oh, God. I don't want to think about his cum, because it doesn't taste of anything. Lou Reed strikes me as someone who doesn't eat. So
no.
It doesn't have any flavor. It's just water.
No, he just comes Nickelodeon slime.
Gack.
He comes gack, yeah.
Oh, okay. Can we get into this so we can start talking about cum? I know I'm on the show. I know that's my expertise, but
so the Pitchfork review of this album famously got a 1.0 out of 10. And they really talk about the whole experience of this album being announced all the way through, you know, the first song being released to the public and everyone going, what the shit is this?
Well, do we not, lest we forget the great meme of I am the table.
God. I had actually forgotten about that.
That is one thing I do remember, is him saying, I am the table.
Well, I used to watch a lot of Botchamania, and that clip would come up every time someone brought up a table. It didn't.
table. Grab a brush and put a little table.
Bart, say the thing.
So yeah, this review, I think we established that Pitchfork scores are editorial, where the whole staff gets to weigh in, but the review itself is written by one person. But I think the score pretty much matches up to the text of this review.
I mean, the text of this review implies that the reviewer would have given it a 0 if he could.
Yeah, this would have been a monkey pissing in its own mouth.
Yeah.
But
I think there was probably some Metallica Georg at the Pitchfork office.
Yeah.
Who rated it like a 9.2 and
that's
that threw off the score.
You're an outlier and should not be counted.
Well, okay, so that's the thing though. So I was reading the comments. I listened to this on YouTube. Don't be mad at me. So I was reading the comments and I was, watching a couple of interviews, and this sort of census is like Metallica fans hated it, but Lou Reed fans quite liked it. So maybe it was probably a Lou Reed head. I mean, think of the people that work at Pitchfork.
Yeah.
That's fair. And Lou Reed basically he carved out a very specific set of fans for himself just by doing all of the incredibly weird and avant-garde shit he did.
Just by actively repelling everyone else.
Yes, exactly.
This is repellent.
The word repellent appears in the review multiple times.
Yeah, this is fucking Gigi Allen.
Seemed to mock both artists' most forgiving fans for even clicking on the link.
Someone who actively despises you.
That is one of the lyrics.
I've had that line stuck in my head this entire week, and
the way he just atonally sings that line was driving me nuts.
He doesn't sing anything.
Singing is a very generous word. It also it's tonally dissonant with the guitars behind it, which is like most of the album. Is that I think there's like one song where it kind of works, and we'll get there when we get there, but no, that line not at all.
So should we start going through the songs then?
Hell yeah, dude.
Why not?
All right, let's start with Brandenburg Gate.
I was taking Peter Lorry when things got pretty gory as I crossed to the Brandenburg Gate. I was feeling snappy, perhaps I'd been napping if I'd just ate. Following hard can tear you apart on a midnight ship.
So, this is what starts with the lyric that we were talking about, where we all realized what the tone of this album was going to be. Let's see. I would cut my legs and tits off when I think of Boris Karloff and Kinski in the dark of the moon. It made me dream of Nosferatu, trapped on the Isle of Dr. Moreau. Oh, wouldn't it be lovely?
And then, small town girl.
Yeah. James Hetfield comes in and is, he's James Hetfield. This is his normal style of performance. He's a large and in charge kind of guy, but he's relegated to backing vocals here.
Yeah, he's a Chad. This is the Virgin Lou Reed and the Chad James Hetfield, but
I did actually put Virgin and Chad in my notes later for the album, so I think we're on the same page here.
Well,
there's something about James Hetfield singing the word small town girl that just feels so wrong.
Well, I can't imagine him being a girl from a small town, this man screaming. Okay, here's the thing. So, he can... I'm going to put sing. I'm not saying he's the best singer, but, if you listen to, Nothing Else Matters, he is...
Yeah.
He's trying. So
James Hetfield is capable of notes being formed with his voice that match the guitars behind the voice.
He is capable of not metal screaming, singing the whole time. He can do that, and it's
yes.
Why didn't he for at least some of the songs? Why didn't you? I mean, if you're gonna have, he's not a background singer. He's not. He's just not. He's a lead, and that's fine. But I do question the decision to have him in the background of the songs, because
this is what happens when the Chads let the virgins sing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the vibe. Is I really do feel like James Hetfield's going to come in and beat up like Lou Reed.
He's just going to take this decrepit old man and just knock him to the ground.
Yeah, and I think you're from like 50 or something. Like you, like
this song specifically, I think, sounds the most like they recorded the whole song, they sent it off to like Lou Reed on like a floppy diskette. He loaded it up on his office computer and just kind of recorded himself over the top of it.
Okay.
Yeah, he just did some freeform scat.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing. This is the wildest thing to me. So the whole album, it seems like they recorded it in the same room, it doesn't sound like that.
It doesn't. No.
This sounds...
Apparently they met at like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, and like,
which like that makes sense.
Again, like the article does say this, that like they do have a lot in common. It makes sense that they would bond. It doesn't make sense sonically.
Yeah.
And
right.
Yeah, I think my biggest gripe is that it does sound like we did a Farrah Abram and like Lou Reed didn't hear the music and Metallica didn't hear the lyrics. And they both just smashed together, but like that's not what happened. Apparently they had a mostly harmonious like recording session.
Yeah.
And you wonder, apart from one time,
I'm not as familiar with Metallica's music other than like my mom and stepdad playing it as I was growing up. But like one thing I did notice is that the engineering on this album rules. Like all like the way that it's mixed together obviously is very dissonant, but like all the drums sound really good and all the guitars sound really good and everything seems like the floor toms at the start of the tracks like pounding, like that was a good sound. I don't know if it's just because I have really good headphones, but this album,
the production sounds a lot better than actually some Metallica albums sound.
We'll get to one song which I think is unlistenable. But yeah, I mean, this is well made. It's a well made album. It's just not pleasant, and I
feel like that's kind of what makes like famously bad albums more like memorable, is when there's clearly a lot of love and effort put into them.
Yeah.
Because that's like I feel like the Farrah Abraham album, which was just mentioned, like that album, it's for all of how bad it is, it clearly had a lot put into it. I mean, not a lot of talent in that case, but it had a lot of effort put into it.
Yes, there's a difference, and I will give Farrah an A for effort for pretty much everything she's ever done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really have much to say about this song. Like, it started off like, haha, this is fun. And then I eventually kind of realized that, like, oh, this song makes me feel like I'm going crazy because it's just the same thing over and over again. Like, well,
it's like the way that the small town girls are interspersed within Lou Reed's ranting was absolutely infuriating. Also, this is the shortest song on the album at a crisp 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Nice.
So one thing I really hate is when I can hear like two things at the same time. So say I'm watching something and then someone in another room is watching something. Kind of makes me feel like I'm gonna, lose it. I can't deal with two things happening at once. And this album is just all that. It's all that.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. It's like your grandpa is in the living room going on a rant, and then your brother is downstairs smoking weed and listening to music too loud. Mm-hmm. And it's like
walking through Dundas Square in Toronto when the street preachers are out, but then there's also a guy doing bucket drumming.
Yeah.
Which is a thing I actually have a video of on YouTube because it was so weird and dissonant. At
my college campus, there was a there was a musician, like a busker who had been, hanging out on this campus for probably like 10 years already by the time I started going there. And he would effectively do like duels with the evangelical preachers that would wander around the campus. And he would just try to like play his guitar loud to drown out them talking about how gay people are bad.
It's like that one, the one Brooklyn Nine-Nine interrogation scene where Andy Samberg's just strumming the guitar and screaming. Just
exactly.
Ah! Do you know that the highest place where this album charted are the Czech Republic and Croatia? They peaked at number 4.
That makes sense somehow. I don't know why. That just adds up to me.
It does, though, right?
Yeah.
I don't know enough about Croatia to dispute it.
Czech Republic. Didn't you say the Czech Republic?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Croatia.
Oh.
It was both.
Oh, I thought you said Korea.
No, not Korea. Not Korea. Korea, it did not chart, apparently.
Oh, okay.
It did in Japan. It got to number 14 in Japan.
It definitely would have charted in Japan.
So let's move on to the
I am all this. I am the root, the progress, the aggressor. I am the table. I am the 10 stories. I am the table. I am. I am. I am. I am. I am.
our favorite show starring Meghan McCain.
My father.
Yeah, this song's just about Meghan McCain, right?
My father. So yeah, this was the I Am the Table song. It's also the only one that got a
Yes.
music video. Which did any of you watch?
I didn't.
I also didn't.
Okay, so it was directed by Darren Aronofsky.
Oh, God.
And I was like, okay, well, maybe this will be interesting at least. And it's not. It's just like, it's sort of between Lou Reed and James Hetfield, like singing. And then there's like a filter. You can see them. And it's just like they're in the studio. There's no art direction really taken. It's so boring. The fact that like, oh, okay, we're going to do a joint album. It's going to be about this blooming German playwright from the 20th century. It's going to be really interesting. What should our one music video be like? Oh, I don't know. What if they just filmed us in the studio?
Please look at the image I posted in episode planning.
I'm looking. Okay. Classic.
He is the table.
I hate that beard.
It's really bad.
I hate
and
it.
yeah, I guess I understand what he means by I am the table by all the words around it.
Yeah, I hate
Because
His beard is the table. You could put like your whole dinner on top of that.
his Skyrim default
oh,
beard.
it's like it's the gif of the guy eating ramen out of the beard.
He looks like a... he looks like a blacksmith in Skyrim.
He looks like the race of old in Skyrim that they made because they didn't have aging. So all old people were just a race called elders. That's what James Hetfield is.
So yeah, I didn't hate this song. I thought it was the first one where I thought, okay, well, yeah, this is cohesive, at least mostly.
Yeah, this is one of the two where I'm like, I kind of get it.
I understand what they were going for.
The feel kind of reminded me of that album Charlemagne by Christopher Lee.
Oh, fuck. That album's good as hell.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The one where Christopher Lee is, like, singing metal in a wizard's, like, forest.
In a wizard's voice, yes. And he's
Yes.
ends the lives of the Saxon men.
Yes.
I shed the blood of the Saxon men. I shed the blood of 4,000 Saxon men.
Okay, but if Lou Reed had become a wizard and like we were going for some like pagan Nordic, mythology thing, I would be down for that. I do not.
Yeah, but see, the problem is just like a weird old guy masturbating into a corner.
Yeah, but he's not a wizard. At least if he's a wizard, he might have something for me that's not cum.
Yeah, exactly. Like Gogurt.
Well, welcome to Lou Reed's Cum Corner.
It's like, do you want cum? Do you want heroin? Do you want cum covered heroin.
He's got you covered there.
He has.
He's got the heroin covered too.
Yep.
With cum.
I do not like this man. I don't like. I mean, listen, Lou Reed.
I'm gonna say, like, out of the Velvet Underground songs I like the John Cale tracks more. So.
Yeah, I do respect him, but I don't know if I necessarily like him as a person, and I feel in a similar way to Metallica, like less so, because I think they're like slightly less awful. They're just rich people.
Yeah.
I do like that vocal thing that James Hetfield does, where he turns all the vowels, like, in his words into, like, really long growling noises.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the aggressor! Ah!
Yeah.
Yeah, he is actually a really talented singer.
He just has a way that people don't necessarily care for, but, like, it works for what he does.
Exactly. Jinx. So, I don't know, I'm trying to think if I have anything more to say about this one, because we have a lot to get through.
Oh, yeah.
Do we want to move on to Pumping Blood?
We can move on to Pumping Blood.
Off the pump, off the thing, the blood that I'm pumping away. If I pump blood in the sunshine, and you wear a leather box with azaleas, and I pump more blood, and it seeps through my skin, will you adore the river, the stream, the trickle, the tributary of my heart, as I pump more blood, and it seeps through my skin? Will you adore the river?
I'm sorry for blowing air straight into the microphone, but that's kind of what this song is. This is terrible. We are bringing...
If I waggle my ass like a dark prostitute, would you think less of me?
I thought he was saying dog.
I did too.
I was like, what's a dog prostitute, Mr. Reed?
I think I spaced out the word. I just heard waggle my ass like a prostitute the first time, and I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Pardon
me?
A lot of misogyny and racist lyrics in this album, and that's probably one of the milder ones.
Hey, excuse me. Do you guys mind
did
I...
Lou Reed not learn from Walk on the Wild Side that you shouldn't use the word colored?
Yeah,
I feel like he's been over this like a full 40 years ago.
Hey, Matt, do you mind if I will swallow your sharpest cutter like a colored man's dick?
Hey, blood spurting from me.
What is that in reference to? Like,
so it's about Jack. It's about Jack the Ripper. That's the Jack in the song, because there's like "Oh Jack, I beseech you," and apparently Jack the Ripper shows up in these plays.
Right.
But yeah.
Well, it's basically saying, like, you will stab me like I suck dick. Like, that's the swallow.
That's about as...
But then he decides to emphasize that it's a non-white man.
Oh, yeah, because presumably Lulu's white.
She's wild.
So she just sucked a white man's dick, then, you know... That wouldn't be edgy enough.
That's normal. But no, she's taking a walk on the wild side.
See, so there we go. Well, here's the thing with me and Matt here is Matt gets his dick swallowed like a knife, and I go David,
I'm sorry that makes you Lou Reed.
I'm gonna have to edit in parts of that song too. to this episode, I think.
I mean, at least that song was like what, the 70s? This is in 2011.
Yeah.
There really isn't any redeeming qualities about at least the words of this song.
I mean, I don't think it sounded great either. I don't know if that is just focusing on the lyrics, but
yeah, okay. We're talking about the way he in heavy air quotes sings on this song. The stream, the trickle, the tributary of my heart is sang in the most grating way I can think. And I can't even reproduce it. I don't even know if I want to try.
It's like
the tributary of my heart.
It's like if Bob Dylan was a pop punk singer.
It's like if Lou Reed was trying to do a James Hetfield impression.
That's probably what was happening. And it's like, Lou, you are 69 years old.
Will you adore the river? Like, is it just it's just him, like, it's bleeding out, right? That's what that whole long-ass line is. Will you adore the river?
He's also doing, like, a Droopy the dog impression at the same time.
I mean...
That's just...
Will you adore the river?
That's just the heroine.
Listen, you can tell this is an old man who's had a pretty rough life. Mm-hmm. Okay, so, like, my issue is he's singing... Okay, like, let's say we're listening to, like, any sort of metal song and they're saying fucked up lyrics. Like, at least they're doing it with a bit of passion. This really is, like, I'm asleep, or you woke Grandpa up from his nap, and here's what I have to say to you, kiddo.
And he was having a dream about a murdered prostitute.
Yeah, this is when your grandpa says, like, when he starts talking about what happened in the war, when he gets a bit too drunk. And you're like...
This is your grandpa talking about getting banned from Twitter, and he's like, Jack, I beseech you! Jack, I beseech you! Unban my Twitter! I promise I won't kill Ray Romano! I beseech you!
That's what Laura Loomer was saying the entire 4 hours that she was handcuffed to Twitter.
Yeah, she was, Jack, I beseech you.
If you just played this album on repeat, then...
if only if she swallowed Jack's sharpest cutter. Fuck Laura Loomer. It's my stance.
I think that's all of our
That's the
stance.
official stance of this podcast.
Yeah. It's official noise-based political alignment. So, yeah, I don't know. This is draining.
I don't want to talk about this song anymore.
No.
It's like Hurt by Johnny Cash minus the everything.
Minus, like, if Johnny Cash, again, wasn't even talking about himself.
Yeah, like, minus the inherent talent of Johnny Cash.
This is a Johnny Cash stan. Like, hate Laura Loomer, love Johnny Cash.
Yeah, this is Johnny Cash cast now.
Mistress Dread.
And a train. Your snake cold lips make a harsh straight line. That echoes through my brain. You're perfect.
So, this was the one I hated the most. It's like they're trying their hand at, like, noise, I suppose. It just sounded horrible to me. I don't know why.
It's them doing speed metal again, which is what Metallica started out doing.
Yeah, but they're good at that.
I am a secret lover. I am your little girl. Please split into my mouth. I'm forever in your swirl. First of all, girl and swirl, terrible rhyme. Hate it. Really don't like that.
Most of these lyrics do not rhyme, and then when they do, they're terrible.
Like, that rhyme makes me want to hurl.
Oh, God.
Good one.
Like, I will say, so I mean, Metallica, yeah, they did a lot of speed metal, but they did it well. Like, I will say, Kill 'Em All, fun album. It's fun. This is just unpleasant to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work, and the lyrics, I do not care for them.
It does really underscore the whole feeling of Lou Reed wasn't actually there, even though he was.
See, the problem is that Lou Reed was taking the wrong drugs to do speed metal.
Oh,
He wasn't taking speed metal.
no.
Yeah.
These are two people who did vastly different drugs.
Yeah, it was like Lou Reed saw that butterfly that said bring back 80s speed metal, but he didn't know how to do it.
Is this speed metal?
I will say, like...
That's just like, it's two different eras of meme right there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the other thing is, like... Okay, so this is a man singing from the perspective of like a woman who's in a vastly different place than him socially and, you know, politically, and it's just the grossest thing. Like every time, I mean, a lot of the time in the song he says, I'm a little girl, I'm a woman, and I like men. And it's like,
yeah, it's not good.
No, because
you could tell that the only women involved in the creation of this album were the ones playing like viola and violin.
Yeah,
and we're not involved in any creative decisions, and you can tell.
No.
Lou Reed, for $1, name a woman.
An alive woman.
An alive woman with no Nazi ties.
Oh, good old Nico.
Good old Nico, eh?
Okay, iced honey.
Tricks to make life hold and make it stick. Not running heat like flames in out, but the proud piece of ice that always floats. Ice honey. Ice honey. If I can't trap a butterfly or a bee.
This is the other song where I felt like it kind of worked.
I thought.
Not lyrically, because as I said, I was listening in mostly kind of a haze, and I was just trying to get the feel of the instrumental. But it felt like the least dissonant to me.
Yeah. I written in my notes that it sounds like loading music in a metal game.
Yeah.
It sounds like
in Brutal Legend or something.
Yes, like or if Guitar Hero Metallica couldn't get the rights to Metallica songs and they had to make up their own ones.
I'm looking at the lyrics now, and it is just nonsense.
Yeah, I didn't hate these lyrics because they were nonsense and not just like purposely repellent and disgustingly sexual.
Yeah, it's like I feel like if the whole album kind of went for allegorical, poetic lyrics rather than direct lyrics about gendered violence, then it might be a bit less gross.
Yeah, gendered violence against sex workers. You know, the people who are most likely to get it. Yeah, that's fine.
Like, see if the ice was... The see if the ice would melt for you line, as sung by both Lou Reed and James Hetfield, was like the fact that they were singing at the same time, and it didn't sound completely like garbage. It's like
it was kind of refreshing.
Yeah, it almost kind of it felt refreshing, like a nice glass of ice water out of just drinking some water out of glass,
like an ice with a bit of lemon and honey.
Just a little bit of honey, iced honey, if you will.
Oh, a little iced honey lemonade with maybe no lemon. We'll see.
No, see if the ice will melt for you.
I'm gonna make one of those after I'm done recording this episode.
Ooh.
Yeah, anyone want some fucking iced honey to go with this?
Oh, official drink. Do you know what? Okay, what about whiskey, honey, maybe some muddled up rosemary or orange peel, and then lots of ice? That sounds nice.
Yeah, that's the iced honey.
Okay, we
official
made
drink.
Official cocktail.
This is kind of an arena rock ballad song. There's a lot more rhythmic connection between everything. It's got a hook, which so far has been absolutely missing from this album.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could call the small town girl a hook, but
I thought it got better towards the end. We'll get to it. I think a lot of my issues with, like, even beyond the lyrics. Okay, I have an issue with every song. Like, the sound of it is just so repetitive. Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't be. Like, I know Metallica can make better music, but it just is over and over and over again because they need to fill this, 10-minute space.
I do like that the only annotation for this song on Genius is, but the proud piece of ice that always floats, and the annotation reads, ice is lighter than water, and as a result will float unless it is forced down. And the annotation is unreviewed.
I like
2 years later, yes.
I might have to mark this one as it's a stretch.
I like the idea that someone has never had ice in a drink, never seen ice, is unaware that ice even exists, but knows about
They're
this
probably
album
from California.
and wants to check the lyrics.
Yeah. No, they're just from California where, they don't have to live several months of the year being extremely cold, and that's why they're like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of things in California which means why they're like that.
Yeah, they haven't been humbled by the elements.
No, that's true.
And it shows.
That's why you're so humble, because it's fucking cold in Canada.
Yeah, it was extremely cold, and I was still outside playing Pokemon Go for several hours yesterday.
For the love of all things fraggable.
It's farkin' cold in here.
Nuts. Anyway. Yeah, I think that's it for Iced Honey.
That's it for Iced Honey.
Let's cheat on me.
Why do I cheat on me? Why? Come on! Why do I cheat on me? Why do I cheat on me?
I liked this one, and I'm saying liked. I don't think I really liked anything. I'm just saying I didn't hate this. I thought it was fun. I could see myself maybe listening to this if I smoked a little ganja.
Why do I cheat on thee? Why do I cheat on me?
Because again, I think what you're saying
Why
about them
do I
singing
desecrate
together,
me?
Yeah.
This is probably the most boring lyrics.
They
But
are.
that's also good, because then he doesn't have a chance to get absolutely disgusting with his words like he does everywhere else on the album.
They also
It feels like they had him on a leash for this one,
they also rhyme.
but not sexually.
No. Metaphorical leash. The lyrics also rhyme, which is good. They're the most basic ones, but they're there.
He rhymed me with me.
We have mine and mind, which I think is a stretch. Break and take.
Heart and apart.
Soul and whole.
Soul and whole.
It's just like the Nightman musical.
Yeah, this is Lou Reed's Nightman.
The Nightman
Fighter of the day, man.
The Chase Hector was like, ah!
You have to pay the troll toll to save the boy's soul.
The instrumentation of this song is pretty interesting to me. Like, the start of it is really kind of post-rock, like with just strings and bass guitar.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Talk Talk E, or like Bark Psychosis's album Hex.
Yeah.
The session musicians really kind of get their chance to do things in this song, which is nice to hear.
Yeah, it seemed like everyone was kind of collaborating a little bit more on this one. It wasn't.
It's like they were in the same room, but they weren't all wearing earplugs, so they couldn't hear each other, which is what I imagine they're doing in all the other songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have like those horse blinders on.
This also does contain the lyrics of "Why do I piss my dreams?"
That's
Do
fine.
you think Lou Reed was an adult bedwetter?
Probably.
An adult teen bedwetter.
He's an adult baby teen bedwetter.
I would not be surprised if he was an adult baby.
That should have been the title of this album.
Would have made more sense. Would have been more cohesive.
So this song is what, about 10 minutes long? 11 minutes?
Oh yeah, it's about 7 minutes longer than it needs to be.
I think this is where I lost it. This is where I lost the thread.
Yeah.
Because I don't remember anything after this.
Well.
But what are we going to do when we get to talking about his junior dad?
Oh God.
I'll look at the lyrics.
Okay. Would you say you're frustrated?
Oh God. Is that the next song? Oh God, it is.
You're feeling less horror, but you stimulate the hatred smolders in your eyes. I drop to my knees in a second to salivate in your thighs. But all I do is fall over. I don't have the strength I once had in you, and your prickless lover and his easel in his eyes. I feel a pain.
Frustration.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I hate this song. Frustration.
Spermless, like a girl.
You and your prickless lover.
I'm like, we get it.
A sword between my thighs. I wish that I could kill you, but I do love your eyes.
It's because he's old and his dick don't work no more.
Yeah, he's frustrated about his dick and sex in general, and it's incredibly vitriolic and angry and sad, and it made me very uncomfortable to listen to.
This is the anthem for, like, broke dicks. This is the impotence anthem, and that shouldn't exist.
Broke
That's
dick
right.
anthem.
No, oh wow! Like this is the time where I went, oh, he's not singing about the play no more. This is just being frustrated that his dick doesn't work anymore because he's a 70-year-old man, and that's what happens, sadly. But they made Viagra.
They do. And a lot of people get Viagra subsidized because that's how the healthcare system works in America.
Because
You can get your Viagra subsidized, and you can't get your feminine hygiene products.
You can't get
Or
your
birth control.
No, you can't get your birth control, which maybe you're not even taking because you're having sex. Maybe you're taking it because you have other medical issues. And even if you were having sex, there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway,
I really don't like the imagery of a dick being a sword. Like, I know that's kind of like the whole point of swords. Is that they're like a phallic extension of male
like
fragility.
it's like in Seven where he fucked her to death.
Yeah.
He
It's like,
made me fuck her.
unless a lesbian has a sword, in which case it's valid.
Who? Yeah, a sword!
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. I really feel like women should only have swords. Men can't have any weapons because they're all phallic. So...
Was Lou Reed a sword collector?
What's the most yonic weapon? I'm trying to think of it, and I can't think of it.
Like a glove, like a gauntlet, maybe.
Like a gauntlet.
Like the
if we're talking like a jackhammer, just by shape of a jackhammer, it's got like that kind of uterine shape.
Okay.
But it's still very phallic.
Exactly. I mean, Mars and Venus, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean...
I'm sure there's some song out there called My Uterus is a Jackhammer.
I don't like that. I don't want to... I mean, speaking as the only person here who has one, I don't want my uterus to be jackhammering anything. I want it to chill the fuck out. I just want it to not do anything. I would say... I mean, that's the other thing, is maybe he's talking from Jack the Ripper's perspective. That's the only thing I can really grasp at, because there is a thing of like a lot of serial killers are often impotent.
Yeah.
So
I cry icicles.
I
wish that I could kill you, but I do love your eyes. I want you as my wife, spermless like a girl.
Interesting.
I don't care for it.
Casual trans misogyny there.
Yep.
Yeah.
I also hate the word sperm, and I hate the word spermless even more.
You think that the lack of sperm would make it better, but it doesn't.
Oh, yeah, you'd think for someone
Like
who's...
so much in life.
You would think for someone who is a known chaser that they would have a bit more tact, but obviously that's not true, because he was a known chaser.
I don't think that Lou Reed has ever had tact.
No.
Is there anything musically interesting about this song? Because I don't remember anything except the really bad words.
No, I mean, it's a bit heavier.
Kiss your breasts and toes.
Just go...
That's a little bit of a jump there.
Yeah, you're like, oh, he's making his way down, and then he skips straight to your toes.
Yeah, she's like, oh, and she got feet?
Oh, God.
Goes right for it.
He goes right for them little pinkies.
Goes for the piggies.
Now I'm imagining Lou Reed sucking on my toes, so we need to skip. What's next?
Little dog.
It's time for the little dog.
If you got the money, you can go to the top. The female dog don't care what you got. As long as you can raise that little doggy face to a cold-hearted pussy, you could have a taste.
So If Lou Reed was alive today, he would be on Twitter proclaiming that he did not fuck his dog, he did not come on his dog, he never would have fucked his dog, and he's really sorry for the joke he made.
This is the one where I was talking about earlier that I got some strong Virgin/Chad vibes. Because this is definitely a song about being jealous of alpha males to me.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe he used to be a Chad and now he's not.
I hate every single word I'm looking at on my screen right now.
So this song is a lot... Correct me if I'm wrong. This song was like a bit slower, a bit more strings, right?
Yeah, it's another kind of post-rocky type situation.
Yeah,
it should not be that. This song should be over as quickly as possible.
Oh, yeah. But I was listening to this song the other day. I was kind of tired, and I sort of had my eyes closed. And then I got to one line and immediately jolted up out of my bed. Like...
Was it a puny body and a tiny dick? A little dog can make you sick?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it might have been little doggy face to a cold-hearted pussy.
Well, that's next.
You could have a taste.
You could, is the thing.
The female dog don't care what you got.
As long as you can raise that little doggy face. Oh, man.
To a cold-hearted pussy, you could have a taste.
Can run his tongue over the hot in trot. What is that? That's a bad sentence.
Yeah.
Like, structurally, and also just in the words that it just made me say.
Mm-hmm.
Lou Reed's last dog before he died was named Stacy.
That's not a name for a dog. That's not a dog's name.
You sniff your shit in the wind. Follow me around, pathetic little dog.
This is very Venus in Furs. This is someone got pegged. Anyway,
I think so.
Lou Reed gets pegged once, writes decades of this shit.
I think that's really all there is to say about this song. It's another one where it's just one idea that he had one day, and he sat down and wrote 80 lines about it.
Yeah,
and sent it to James Hetfield, going, "How about this shit?"
He wrote 88 lines about one woman.
This is his Jordan Peterson lobster moment, I think. I think it's a metaphor.
Lou Reed's trying to tell you to clean your room. Because he came all over it.
No. So I watched an interview that Lars Ulrich did like a couple of years ago, where he was on a show called That Metal Show, which was seemed quite terrible. It had 3 interviewers. Like, why God do you need 3 interviewers? So
were they all white guys?
Everyone was white. Everyone in the audience was white. Everyone in there was white and 40 at least, and a man.
And probably like a 50% neo-Nazi quote.
That's the thing with metal, is like Metallica aren't like that, but you never know what you're gonna get. You never know if you're gonna have oh I like this band. Oh, I'm sorry, the bassist did a Nazi salute.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm just gonna say before any metalheads get up in my benchies, yes, there is very good anti-fascist metal. It exists. Yeah. It's real.
Yeah.
There's like political metal and there's non-political.
And then there's metal that's just like about Lord of the Rings.
Which, that's what metal should be about, frankly.
It should all be about Lord of the Rings and A Song of Ice and Fire.
And sometimes starring characters from Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Yeah. So basically Lars was talking and he said, you know, it was kind of weird, but like, we're not going to turn down Lou Reed. That seems...
that tracks. That tracks so well.
Everything made sense. That these guys were just, you know, kind of maybe a bit starstruck, and we're like, holy shit, it's Lou Reed. He wants to work with us. Why does he want to work with us? I don't know. Just do what he says.
It's like the opposite of Collision Course, where Mike Shinoda was just really excited to work with Jay-Z, and Jay-Z's like, well, he's a big fan and he's famous, so I guess I'll do it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's the other thing. So... they brought up at the end, these fucking white guys. They were like, oh, yeah, I'm just glad you didn't do an album with Jay-Z.
I
honestly think a Jay-Z and Metallica album would work. I also think a Metallica and
especially if it was like Black Album mashups. I mean, I'm pretty sure someone's already made that. No, someone actually did make that. It's called the Double Black Album.
Oh, good.
That actually exists. Someone made it.
Well,
I should listen to that.
Yeah, me too. Because I feel like they have a bit more in common, and rap and metal always seems to work.
Well, yeah, especially when it's what's the name of it? What's the rap producer that's got the big beard?
Rick Rubin.
Yeah, it's a Rick Rubin joint, so of course it works with metal.
Exactly. And I wrote this on Twitter and no one interacted because they're fake. But Lady Gaga and Metallica performed at the Grammys, and I think it worked.
Oh no, that was good.
That slapped. So I would love a Lady Gaga Metallica crossover. I'd love Face to Face, Cheek to Cheek. That was it. Cheek to Cheek, Lulu too. So that's my official stance. What have we got left?
So, dragons.
Dragon.
Yeah, let's talk about Dragon.
Now this one should have been about Lord of the Rings.
It should have been.
Poor pitiful creature. The winner in heartbreak. The winner in caring. The winner in
Instead, it was about the smell of your armpit, the taste of your vulva, and everything on it.
We all really love you.
Yeah.
You're in your Kotex jukebox. That's such a bad line.
What is a Kotex juke? So.
Okay, but what if it was a
tampon?
Kotex juice box?
Oh, he's like Edward from Twilight. He's just putting a tampon in tea and drinking it. I don't think Kotex really existed the same way when Lulu was written, but go off.
No, I don't think so.
I know they were like one of the first like sanitary towel companies.
Well, I'm doing a Google. We're going
Oh,
there.
okay.
We're going to the Kotex Wikipedia.
Pull it up. Pull up them receipts. Let's call out this dead man.
A Kotex newspaper advertisement from 1920.
Okay.
So that's around when they started.
All
So
right.
now when was Lulu the play written?
I don't.
I think like 1904.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think this is just another example of Lou Reed doing his own weird self-insert that has nothing to do with the source material.
Oh my god. The original OC. That is disgusting. But you're right.
Yeah, it's Lulu fanfiction starring Lou Reed. Lulu Reed.
Yeah. That's what I thought it was named after. I thought he named it after himself for a long time.
Yeah. The music of this isn't actually terrible to me. Like, there's kind of a repeated pattern to it that makes me think... it made me think of Slint.
Okay. See,
Like,
I feel like Slint is what this thing could have gone for, this whole album.
Yeah.
And it would have possibly been good in that case. The thing is that Slint's lyrics aren't completely repellent.
No, I'm not.
No.
I mean, they're nonsense, but...
I'm not too familiar with
They just
Slint.
had Brian McMahon sitting in his car listening to the tape and going, I think this word would sound good here.
Let's sing about a carnival now.
That would have been good, I think.
I don't know about good.
Well, so the thing is that album is a guy dissonantly talking over post-rock and yet manages to be good. But I feel like it's one of the few albums that has managed this.
Yeah, this is a really, like, fine line to walk.
This album, like, Lulu came out 20 years later and did not manage it.
No. Yeah.
There is that guitar solo, quote-unquote, which is just rubbing the strings up and down with some effects on it.
They let Lou Reed do that one because he really wanted to try to jerk off the guitar.
He's like, Kirk, can I try? And yeah, and then he bought a new guitar after that, I think.
Kurt, can I make the guitar come?
Like, yes.
I need to find my Guitar Center.
And then Junior Dad, speaking of.
The greatest disappointment. The greatest disappointment. Age withered him and changed him into Junior Dad.
It's time for the song called Junior Dad, which is the best title on the album.
By far.
It may also be the best song on the album.
Yeah. Okay, so I told everyone in the Discord that this song made me cry.
Yeah.
Because I felt like, okay, first of all, I was just going through something.
I mean, same. When I was listening to the whole album, I was like kind of crying, but that's just because my brain doesn't work this whole weekend.
Yeah.
And it couldn't process Small Town Girl being yelled at it.
What?
So it just decided that crying was the answer.
Yeah.
Sometimes it'd be like that.
And, like, I watched the live performance of it, which was about 10 minutes shorter, thank Christ. And it also, like, it was weird to see them all playing together. And you could tell that Metallica were really humbled. And they were, like, quiet, and there was very low energy from everyone. And it was all about Lou. And like, they were all holding back tears. All these, like, rough, like, older guys, you know, fucking tough and beast willing macho chads. And, well, not Lars, he's kind of ugly. But he did date Naomi Campbell, though, so he's got something for him.
He's got something, apparently.
Apparently. But they're holding back these tears, and they're, like, this just seemed kind of very emotional. And it's like a very weird energy just going off of everything.
Okay, the line, "Say hello to Junior Dad, the greatest disappointment, age withered him and changed him." This part of the lyrics is said to have made guitarist James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett cry. And that they were just, like, sobbing in the kitchen hearing the line, "Say hello to Junior Dad."
It's obviously, like, a really affecting topic for them.
Yeah.
Like, I looked up kind of, like, James Hetfield's backstory to kind of get some insight on it, and he had, like, a childhood where he was raised by parents that did not believe in medicine.
Oh.
And so his mother died when he was really young because they wouldn't give her treatment.
That's sad.
That
that's
really
horrible.
And so, like, yeah, I could see that, you know, that this kind of situation is more of, like, a universal feeling among the whole band, and maybe that's why the song came together better.
And I think they're all probably parents as well. I don't know about Lou Reed, but that's a feeling we can all relate to, of this sort of disappointing our parents and our parents disappointing us, and the cycle of, you know, raising children and having your own family. That's something which I think everyone is a touchy subject.
I mean, everyone's been a child at some point.
Everyone's been a child. Probably you had a dad. He was probably not the greatest.
Just statistically speaking.
Statistically speaking, if you had a dad, he probably sucked. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, I can understand that. I can find a bit of, you know, something to relate to with this, as opposed to, like, getting stabbed in the pussy or whatever.
Yeah. And I'm looking at, like, the lyrics of this one are probably the least repellent on the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a song.
Except for maybe just saying, "Why do I cheat on thee?" over and over again for 10 minutes.
But, like, get the coffee, turn the lights on, say hello to Junior Dad. The thing about that line is that you could have it in, like, a jaunty song, and with those lyrics wouldn't seem out of place just because of the line Junior Dad.
Yeah.
Say hello to Junior Dad.
Yeah, no, that's a Wiggles song.
The greatest disappointment.
It's a Wiggles song about the boss baby.
Age withered him and changed him.
Junior Dad, yummy, yummy.
Into Junior Dad, psychic savagery. No, that's just a Flaming Lips song now.
No, we captured Wayne Coyne. He's in the water tower right now.
Wayne Coyne is arrested.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's what he deserves. So yeah, this is, I think, probably the most touching song. Probably it is the best. And I understand what the Pitchfork article was going on about. You're like, wow, this album could have all been like this. It could have all been good, really.
It could have.
But
if they had just kind of not gone with the concept that they were thinking of, it could have been. And if they had spent more time just making these songs as opposed to just letting Lou Reed do whatever the fuck he wanted to do.
I feel like Junior Dad is where like the 1 point came from, at least as far as Stuart Berman goes. Because yeah, his the last paragraph of the review. Remarkably, there's a light at the end of this dark, despairing tunnel, and not coincidentally is the song least connected to the Lulu concept. Clocking in at an absurd 19 minutes, Junior Dad is, like almost everything else, too long by half, with its last 8 minutes taken up by an extended string drone. But despite its laughable title, Junior Dad possesses everything the rest of Lulu doesn't. A graceful, affecting melody, a logical arrangement, a pretty guitar line, a sympathetic narrator, and most importantly, a true synthesis of each principal's strengths, outfitting a Reed streetwise hymn with Metallica stadium-sized crunch. It's like Street Hassle refashioned as a Black Album power ballad. It makes sense, yeah. There's like it momentarily redeems the idea of a Lou Reed Metallica collaboration as plausible, possibly fruitful concept. And yeah, of course, it's at the end of the album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of them saying, you waited for this. Here's the one that we worked on, and the rest of them we didn't really.
Oh,
but here you go.
Yeah, it's like the worst foreplay you can imagine.
It's like, if after all of that you still want to fuck, it's gonna be good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, once you're actually fucking, it's like, bingo, bango. But then the whole lead up, like, you're on a date, and then, like, he spits in your food, and...
He's readjusting his balls the entire dinner.
It's terrible. And then you...
And, like, not even on the outside of the pants. He's putting his hands right down them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And
he orders a steak and asks for the sharpest cutter.
He's talking in a faux Cockney accent the whole time.
Yeah. Like, he's ordering food, and he's like, yes, can I please have your coldest pussy?
He's licking it. He licks all the food very suggestively, but doesn't eat any of it.
He touches all the table bread without eating any of it.
This is terrible.
He left a very bad tip afterwards.
He does have a very bad tip, is the thing.
I'm also just looking at the bottom of the article because, like, I was reading that last paragraph, and there are links to best new reissue reviews of And Justice for All and Master of Puppets, which respectively got 9.3 and 10 from Pitchfork.
Jesus. Yeah.
So
it's obvious the editorial staff here is not really blaming Metallica for this situation.
No,
well, it's like the thing about Pitchfork best new reissue reviews is that they are generally more favorable because they have, like, the benefit of hindsight. I have no doubts that if Master of Puppets came out in a time where Pitchfork existed, that it probably would have just gotten a savagely bad review from Ryan Schreiber personally.
Yeah, like a 4.
Yeah.
So that's Lulu.
That's Lulu. That's Lulu.
That is Lulu.
For anyone who listened to the album as homework, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you didn't have to do that. I really wish you didn't.
Yeah, that's our job. You can sit back and enjoy just the 30 seconds of each song that I'm editing in, and that's really enough.
It's 87 minutes long. It's 87 Christian minutes.
87 Gregorian minutes.
Yeah, nothing about this is Christian. It's
the least Christian.
This is blasphemy.
But, like, that doesn't even fit on one CD. No album should be longer than 80 minutes. If it can't fit on one CD, then put some of it away. Unless you're Joanna Newsom.
I was gonna say, unless you're a woman, Then I want
Unless
to hear
you're a woman.
everything. Men,
Like, Have One on Me, I'm still listening to it 10 years later, but, like, it could be longer.
Yeah.
yeah.
Have one additional CD on me. So yeah, I'd say for me, 1.0 is a little bit on the harsh side, just because, you know, there are incredibly, really bad, misogynistic, racist lyrics on the whole album, but musically, it's adequate. I'd say it's adequate. I'd give it maybe a 3.
I wouldn't. I don't. I mean, Junior Dad by itself, I think, is good. I think a couple of these songs are serviceable. I really can't, like, the lyrical, just all of it. The repetitive music, the terrible lyrics. I really struggle to give it more than a 1.
Junior Dad is a full 22% of the album, and it's the only thing that's good. So I give this album a 2.2.
Okay.
And that's our new rating system for
Like,
for this
mathematically, it was 22% of the album. So
Okay.
Yeah, the percentage of the album by time.
that was good.
I think that is fair. I think you're right in that. I think that's a fair assessment.
It could have Junior Dad could have been split up into a couple of songs.
Yeah, like if it was in, like, movements.
Yeah.
Like Junior Dad Part 1, Baby Dad, and then Junior Dad Part 2, Teen Dad, and then we could have Junior Dad Part 3, Old Dad.
Oh,
Benjamin Button Dad.
Yeah.
Benjamin
Aged Dad.
Aged Dad. This is an old dad. This is a really refined dad.
Just an old dad. My dad's 60 this year, so that's just an old dad.
This is the second album we've done on this show where the last song is a whole side of an album, and I'm wondering if that is going to start being a theme.
No, it just has to keep happening.
I hope not. We don't need songs that are that long.
I mean, Impossible Soul does slap, so it's allowed. And Junior Dad's the best song on this album, so what's the truth?
Okay, we'll never really know.
I'm not gonna edit in 5 pieces of this song like I did for Impossible Soul.
Okay, well, I think that's everything, is it?
I think that's everything.
That's everything.
So yeah, long and short, you don't have to listen to this. I mean, if you're a fan of either of them, I feel like it's an interesting thing to listen to just to see what the fuck happened. But you could do that once, and then you're good. I know there are people who absolutely own this album on vinyl, and just thinking about that gives me an aneurysm.
Yeah, that's unnecessary by far.
Like, just like the people who own Metal Machine music on vinyl. That album was made to piss people off on purpose. This album was made to piss people off on accident.
And that's why Pitchfork loves Metal Machine music so much.
Thanks, Lou Reed.
Yeah, the ultimate troll.
The absolute boy, Lou Reed. He's a true ledge.
Legend.
He's laying on the floor, the absolute legend.
In, I don't know. Are we gonna say heaven?
I think Lou Reed is in purgatory.
Yeah, he's working on it.
Oh yeah, he's with all the babies making music.
Well, I think there really isn't much more to say here. So
I mean, did we say much? We kind of just went mad.
I feel like
we said a lot about. We've come a long way.
I'm just gonna say my brain has been fully broken this entire weekend, and talking about this album I think made it better because at least I'm not the lyrics to this album.
Yeah.
That is kind of inspiring in a way.
Yeah, the lyrics to this album made my mental illness go away because it's not as bad as it.
I mean, you know, be as mentally ill as you want. I don't think I would ever think of doing this. So.
No.
In my moments of pure, unadulterated, like, haze, I don't think I'm thinking of, you know, swallowing your sharpest cutter. like a colored man's dick.
I think what it really comes down to is, as bad as this album was, it was not Metallica's fault.
No.
And that's what most people would think when they see the bad review for this album, I think. People have, like a critical reverence for Lou Reed that would make them think that the badness was Metallica's fault, but I want to state unequivocally that it was not. Even though James Hetfield is the table.
He is. Poor... Leave the table, James, the table Hetfield alone.
Leave table Hetfield alone. That's the final words.
So this has been another episode of Tuning Fork. You can follow the show on Twitter at TuningForkCast. I'm David. You can follow me on Twitter at DAVVVES. And that's pretty much it as far as my active social media life goes these days.
I'm Matt. You can find me online at MattGCN or Future Sushi, pretty much anywhere.
Okay, well, I'm Alex. You can listen to me on Seagulls Make Do. And Henrika's just back on Going to Die, but I'm usually on Seagulls. And then you can follow me on Tumblr at DorkPhoenix and Twitter at DorkPhoenix69.
Nice.
Alex did a really good extra episode of HKIP recently, which I think is just available to subscribers of the Patreon about racism in fashion. I listened to it the other day, and I learned a lot.
Oh, well, thank you.
Donate to the HKIP Patreon.
For special content, and also give me money.
Money, please.
Oh, well, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed making it. I just wanted to sort of inform people who maybe aren't keeping up to date with the latest fashion news, because there's, like, a lot of stuff.
Yeah, there is. Yeah. It's not all Project Runway.
Unfortunately, we can't have everything. We can't have Heidi Klum and Michael Kors. I mean, Michael Kors' clothes are disgusting, but as far as I know, I don't think he's that despicable.
Thank you to Nikki Flowers at Yif Police on Twitter for making the album art for the podcast. And thank you to Animal Style for the use of our theme song Open Air from the album Open Air. You can find all of their music at nmlstyl.com.
Man, if only Pitchfork reviewed more chiptune. They really never did any.
One album.
Was it like Anna Managuchi or something?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
that's podcast.
That is a podcast. And as we always say, I had never seen a shooting star.
I'd never seen a shooting star before.
I had never seen a shooting star before.
Bye, everybody.